Hey there! Welcome back to our channel, friends. Today, we're diving into something super relatable: self-sabotage. Let's get into it. Ever get that feeling like you're totally your own worst enemy, You have big goals. You know what you want, but somehow, you end up doing the exact opposite of what you need to do to get there. You procrastinate on that important project. You pick a fight with your partner when things are going great. Or you talk yourself out of applying for that dream job. A lot of folks love to point fingers at scapegoats like devils or black magic when things go wrong, right? But honestly, isn't it often just bad luck or karma? At the end of the day, we really need to take a good look in the mirror. What if I told you that cause and effect are super active in our lives? Every choice we make, every action we take, has a ripple effect. For example, when you're kind to someone, it often comes back around in unexpected ways. So, let's think about it. Are we really aware of how our actions shape our reality? If this sounds familiar, you might be dealing with self-sabotage. And trust me, you are not alone. Self-sabotage is when we engage in behaviors or thoughts that undermine our own success and well-being. It's a tricky thing because it often feels like we're protecting ourselves in the moment. But in the long run, it just holds us back. Think of it as this inner tug-of-war between what you consciously crave and what your subconscious is totally freaking out about. It's not just about being lazy or lacking willpower. It runs way deeper than that. Often, it's rooted in this intense fear of failing, which is pretty common, or even a surprising fear of actually succeeding. Can you believe that? Sometimes, it's tied to low self-esteem, where you genuinely feel like you don't deserve good things. And let's not forget those old patterns we picked up in childhood or from past traumas that keep creeping back. It's like a cycle that just won't quit. Understanding this can really help you break free and start making choices that align with what you truly want. How wild is that? So what does self-sabotage actually look like? Well, it wears many masks. The most common one is procrastination. You know, that task you keep putting off? The one that gives you a pit in your stomach just thinking about it? That's often self-sabotage at play. By delaying, you create a built-in excuse for a less than perfect outcome. If you fail, you can just tell yourself, well, I didn't have enough time. Another huge one is perfectionism. This is the all or nothing mindset. You set such impossibly high standards for yourself that you feel too overwhelmed to even start. Or you start something but never finish it because it's not perfect enough. Perfectionism isn't about striving for excellence. It's a fear of being judged, a fear of not being good enough. Then there's negative self-talk, that little voice in your head that constantly criticizes you, telling you you're not smart enough, talented enough, or worthy enough. This constant stream of negativity erodes your confidence until you start believing it, making it almost impossible to take risks or pursue your goals. Other forms can be more obvious, like using substances, food, or shopping to numb your feelings instead of facing difficult situations head-on. Or maybe you avoid opportunities altogether. You don't ask for that promotion, you turn down invitations. Or you avoid getting too close to people because you're scared of rejection or getting hurt. It's about choosing the familiar discomfort of your current situation over the scary, unknown territory of growth. So, Why do we do this to ourselves? Let us dig into the why, because understanding the root cause is the first step to changing the behavior. A major driver is the fear of failure. The logic goes something like this: if I don't try, I can't fail. It feels safer to not put yourself out there than to risk disappointment or embarrassment. But what about the fear of success? This one is less talked about, but just as powerful. Success brings new pressures, new expectations, and more visibility. You might worry that you won't be able to handle it, that you'll be exposed as a fraud, that is imposter syndrome, or that your life will change in ways you can't control. Sabotaging your success keeps you in your comfort zone, even if that zone is making you unhappy. Low self-esteem is another massive factor. If, deep down, you don't believe you're worthy of happiness or success, you'll subconsciously find ways to push it away. When something good happens, it creates a conflict with your negative self-image, and your brain will try to correct this by sabotaging the good thing to get back to a state that feels more familiar. And finally, we have learned patterns. Many of our self-sabotaging behaviors are coping mechanisms we developed in childhood. Maybe you grew up in an environment where it wasn't safe to shine, or where your needs were consistently ignored. As a result, you learned to play small or to not expect much, and those patterns stick with you into adulthood. The good news in all of this is that because these are learned behaviors, they can be unlearned. You have the power to break the cycle. So, how do we do it? How do we stop being our own biggest obstacle and start being our own biggest champion? The very first step, and arguably the most important, is to increase your awareness. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. Start noticing your patterns without judging yourself. When do you procrastinate the most? What situations trigger your negative self-talk? What are you feeling right before you reach for that comfort food or start an argument? Try keeping a journal or a note on your phone. Just write down what happened, what you were thinking, and what you were feeling. The goal here isn't to blame yourself. It's to become a detective in your own life, gathering clues about your internal world. Once you start noticing the patterns, the next step is to identify the core beliefs that are driving them. The behavior, the procrastination, the perfectionism is just the symptom. The root cause is the underlying belief. For example, the behavior might be not finishing your projects. The underlying belief could be, I'm not good enough, and if I finish this, people will see that. Or maybe the behavior is pushing people away in relationships, and the core belief is, I'm unlovable, and they'll eventually leave me anyway, so I might as well get it over with. Uncovering these beliefs can be tough, and this is where therapy can be incredibly helpful. A professional can provide a safe space to explore where these beliefs came from and help you start to challenge them. This brings us to step 3. Practice self-compassion, not self-criticism. When you catch yourself self-sabotaging, your first instinct might be to beat yourself up. Ugh, I did it again. I'm such a failure. But that criticism just reinforces the negative beliefs that are causing the problem in the first place. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Instead, try treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend. Replace that critical thought with a compassionate one. Instead of, I'm so lazy for procrastinating, try, this task feels really overwhelming right now, and it's okay. I'm just trying to protect myself. from something. What's one tiny thing I can do to make it feel less scary? Self-compassion creates the emotional safety you need to make real, lasting change. It tells your brain, it's okay to try. It's okay to make mistakes. You are safe. Step 4 is to break your big goals into ridiculously small steps. Self-sabotage loves to show up when a goal feels huge and overwhelming. If your goal is to write a book, that can feel so daunting that you never even open the document. But what if your goal was just to write one sentence or open the document and read the last paragraph that feels manageable? Small wins build momentum and confidence. Ask yourself, what is the absolute smallest action I can take right now that moves me even 1 inch closer to my goal? Celebrate that small step. Progress doesn't have to be a giant leap. A series of small, consistent steps will get you to the same destination, but with a lot less stress and self-sabotage along the way. Finally, step 5. Seek professional support. Trying to untangle years of ingrained patterns and deep-seated beliefs on your own is incredibly difficult. It's like trying to perform surgery on yourself. A mental health professional, like a therapist or counselor, is a trained expert who can give you the tools, strategies, and support you need. They can help you address the root causes, like past trauma or anxiety, and develop healthier coping mechanisms. Reaching out for help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. It's an admission that you value your well-being enough to invest in it. Remember, breaking the cycle of self-sabotage is a journey, not an overnight fix. There will be days when you fall back into old patterns, and that's okay. The key is to notice it. Treat yourself with compassion and gently guide yourself back on track. You are not broken. You are a human being who developed certain strategies to cope. Now, you have the opportunity to learn new, more effective strategies that will allow you to build the life you truly want and deserve. You have the capacity to become your greatest ally. Thank you so much for watching. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content on mental health and personal growth. And if you're struggling, please know that help is available. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.